Hello, hello. Sam Tolbert, Sound of Joy Music Services. And again, another impromptu live session. I've been doing so much music um, this year and near the end of last year. Sometimes you often forget to actually have fun. You're looking up so much research. I've been researching the Nashville number system and the minor numbers um, and the looking at video with session musicians talking about using the number system, and I'm like, too much coming into my head. I want to play some music, so I don't want to do a lesson format, so to speak. I just want to play some music. You'll see me put up shorts. When I got up this morning and I took care I need to do, when I got into the studio, I felt in an organ mode, so I posted something up that I used to play the organ a lot when I had a Hammond organ around me. Again, that's my primary instrument that I feel the most comfortable on. You may see me here on the piano and you think, oh, he was raised with a piano. There was a spinet piano in the house, but really, I didn't really grab hold to what I could hear musically until I got on an organ where I can actually manipulate notes. I can hold them for longer than um, the seconds it takes for a piano note to fade away, and I can recognize chords a lot. So, and you see I've changed up my screen a bit. I'm working on this, trying to, as they say, adapt a new format. Let's pull this up front so that can come over me. There we go. So you'll see me doing this also in the event to change up the look, what the inside of the what I call the live session page looks like. Haven't changed much this page. I like this setup where you see the chord names, our Patreon page, which we have 3 members of our Patreon page. Check it out if you want to. There's some good, uh, um, what I call tidbits you get for coming on the Patreon. It is a monthly subscription of $5, but there's a lot you get for that $5. So you check out that page. Trust me, I make sure that you get your money's worth for supporting this platform. So enough about all that. Let's get into doing some music. Let me just do some housekeeping here. I always like to make people welcome on this channel. And I make sure that they let me know you're here, just typing that in. Okay, get into some music. So, as I say, I've been posting shorts. The YouTube Shorts has been increasing my viewers audience. Now that they may not all be church musicians, but they are participating in helping my actual viewership go up, and I'm very thankful for that. So I'm delving into different areas of music. Um, say I'm 100% traditional gospel, traditional spiritual songs, which are traditionally church related, but that does not mean I can't play everything that I want to or anything I want to. So you've seen me sharing chords of R&B songs, R&B styles. Again, I haven't even touched where I want to go musically, but this is an opportunity right now for me to share with you the what goes on in my head as a musician. Hey, how you doing, buddy? And I always encourage those who are giving me that space in their time of day if they have a question about what I'm doing or something that they can do to help them grow musically, please ask me. Do I start with a scale every time I sit down? No. Even though I will put it on each lesson video that I put on. I've done this so many times in my life. Is that if anything, it's just to warm me up. and I've already played this morning. This is the second time that I'm actually playing something, so I'm already in tune to what I want to hear. Now, again, I'm trying not to make this an actual lesson. I just want to be able to play and see where the head is going away from doing actual lessons. So, of course, as I've said, hey, how you doing, Annette? Thanks for coming in. Feel free to ask questions. Feel free to talk to one another as the room fills up. This is just a moment for musicians to come in and talk shop. Of course, anything I can share that will help you to grow as a musician, that's why I'm here. I landed on this chord. I want to change the sound of that. So let's pull up another piano for that sound. There we go. I'm just jumping around. Just allowing my mind to just flow. I'm hearing the last notes on the bottom, walking down a pattern. Jazz, R&B. Just again, as a musician, sometimes you just need to allow anything to come to your head and you're not really practicing anything. Now I'm hanging around C, but I jumped up into E flat, to A flat, to G flat, to B, to E, into A, C, and D into G, F into B flat. What was that song? Trying to free my mind from thinking. Not, of course, forgetting those that are here. Just letting my fingers move. Again, just musician thoughts. 6, 1, 5, 1. There's different variations on the chords. E flat, 2, 5, 1. A flat, 2, 5, 1. E major, 2, 5, 1. G, 2. Lowest note is my number, 2, 5, 1. I'm just throwing chords around. D flat, C sharp, 2, 5, 1. Let me just run a song in my head. It's kind of like a praise song. Well, not a really praise song. An adaptation of a spiritual. Let's get our drum right. Make sure it's not Kumbaya. Come on, scales. Kumbaya, kumbaya, my love, kumbaya. Come on, Sam, the scales. Kumbaya, my love. For the F, or the G flat. Give me the chords. Change key. Change the key. Change key. One more time. Forced up. just letting my mind just flow in all the keys. B caught me off guard, so I had to go back and do the melody scales in B and catch my bearings. Welcome. I'm not going to even try to pronounce your name. Welcome to my impromptu live. I will do this from time to time. I'm trying to get away from having everything to be a lesson, because if you were anything like I was when I was being taught lessons, it became boring. I had more fun when they released us to play. So I'm just going through some of the things that I would do in between having to learn songs. Let me just change this. Gotta move around my foot pedal so it doesn't stick on me. But feel free to ask any questions. Feel free to talk amongst yourself. Again, that was a song I just picked out of my head. It's one of the songs I learned in the past, a rewrite of the Kumbaya. I said I wasn't gonna do any lessons in the scale. Placement of the bass note really does help change the chord. All I'm changing is my bass note. All this is happening in my head. B flat. All right. Again, enough me talking. Let's see, what else can I share? Well, a lot of musicians don't like to play in the key of G, which I can't understand. It's just like playing in C. Just one note. That's the only change of the note. So if you had something to work on like this. There it is. Here I am teaching again. The seventh chords, the major seven chords, are your friend, because they help you to voice any song that you're playing. Just that one chord has access to melodies. And just come out of it, or that diminished chord, or I don't want to miss anybody. Again, this is just a musician's sharing chord moment. No real teaching going on here. I've been doing a lot of that, and not too much playing. Let's see. We're still in Black History Month. Yeah, that's my brother Virgis Talbot. He's the oldest in my clan. The scat sound is when the musician hears the note before he plays it. Again, I'm in the key of G. I can hear G right. Just have to get the fingers right. Again, jazz is the bedrock of your gospel sound. All that is. Music all my life, but have only recently been trying to understand it a little better. Jazzy chord progressions are still sort of foreign to me, but at the same reason, yeah. As I do and I'm going to talk about all the research I'm doing, but I'm learning how music has been purposely designed to capture the emotions of people who listen to it. I've heard comments about people call a devil chord. I was reading that today, and I'm like, wait a minute. So there is such thing as a devil chord. It's a diminished chord because of the way it sounds, and I guess it's where they've used it in probably movies. You always hear that. That means, oh, Dracula's coming. Devil chord, and I'm like, wait a minute. But I use that chord all the time in my music, playing hymns. I guess again, it is a hey, how you doing, Michael? It is a nomenclature type of a thing. When someone is writing the rules to music, they can say, okay, that's a G7th chord. What does my accordion say? G7 over an F. But if you change the placement of it and make G the first chord, it's a G7. But if you put it here, it's also a G7. But it's in the wrong place. G is really the dominant chord name because of the sound, but because the F is in it, F kind of wants to be in the lead. More notes are in G than are in F because of that. That in the F would be there. So if I did this, it should be a G minor 7. The chord names will throw you off, but you need to know what they are and more importantly, how do they sound? You need to know that this chord is diminished so that when you're writing your own music, you know that there's tension that comes with this chord, but it's got to resolve. I had a good movement. And you resolve it. The happy chord. This is the happy chord right here. Everything is now all right. There's a reason for the 4, the 1, the 4, the 5. I was thinking C when I said 4. The 1, 4, 5, and the 6, which are the most dominant chords which are being used in music today. It's just their placement depends upon the writer of the song. This could be in the 6. And here I am teaching again. 4, 1, 5, or could it be 4, 1, 5, 6, 4, 1, 5, 6, or the 4, 6, 5, 1. Who's ever writing the music, they know those are the chords that capture the emotional state of the person listening to it. So if you're going to write a song, where do you want to start it off? Well, let's get them sad first in the minor. I'm writing this minor. Resolve 4. Somewhere inside of the listening, if you're hearing this, it is now tugging at you because you're like, gee, that's so sad. Resolve. Now you want to get happy. There's your happy chord. Sad. And you don't want to. Nobody wants to end on that chord because it tugs at the emotions of the person listening. So you always want to end on the 4. Some sort of resolution. But music has its purpose. I'm from the church where all music is supposed to what I call the sound of joy. Very rare will I end on a song with a minor chord unless it was written that way. Call them up. Call them up. If you confess the Lord, call them up. If you confess. It resolves. Back to the minor. And tell him what you. Yes. Sorry, I'm getting my call. Dinner's ready. So that song has a minor song. The James Hall song, it's in F. What is that song? God is in control. It's the wrong chord. Wow, I've forgotten those chords. Well, I love that. I've always been fascinated how music can affect emotions. Horror soundtracks attract me for some reason. They can really make or break a movie. Yes, but I would listen to I would listen to all the music from every soundtrack, no matter what was playing. What if it was cartoons, which used a lot of classical movements, which was all minor. Yeah. That those kind of classical tunes really drawed me into the sound of music, and I couldn't emulate it because I didn't know what they were doing, not knowing where all the notes were on the piano. But now that I do know where they kind of are, I can fake it unless I had the sheet music in front of me. And a little classical. I hope there are no classical pianists hear me chop that up, but that's how I look at songs and tunes. That helps me to tell me where they are. So if I want to change the key, jazz. Of course, the touch. Might diminish. So yeah, that's what goes on in my head. I will start to immediately look at a piece that I've listened to and try and then apply the the actual techniques that I show a lot on this channel. Once you know what scale you're working in, be it a major scale or a minor scale or the what is that? The harmonic minor, right? The harmonic scale. I'll find the chords in that scale, and then I'll build my chord mind on. Well, where do I want to go with that? That's not. I walk. I can't figure it out why I actually do that, but it gives me pleasure when I can play back something I've done and I go, oh gee, how did I know to go here? And on the ninth in D E flat, because you always want to end with happy tones. One, four, five, one, 1, it was 3, 4, 5. And these are the 3 happy tones, the 1, the 4, and the 5, and back to 1. As I'm doing my research, I'm learning on what are the happy or the chords out of the system, out of the number system, that are the happy ones. And as you listen to all kind of music, you will hear why they play certain chords in theme music. Let me see if I can pull one out. Somewhere over a rainbow, somewhere. 5, 1, 4, 5, 1, 4. Come out of it. 5, diminish. 2, 5, 5, turn around. It's got to be a jazz chord, or that diminish. How you doing, Vicky? I've never played that song before, but I hear the notes. -7. Keep it minor. In the scale. Tone B. Two, 5, 1. Hey, Sub-Zero, welcome. Again, this is just a impromptu shedding of music, shedding of thoughts, or as they come to me. There is no rhyme or reason, no real lessons that I'm trying to portray. Just having some fun playing notes. What I would like is all the musicians to get it to the point to grow to the point where anytime you sit down to whatever instrument of your choice is, you can do anything you want to do. Even if you just want to just do because you want to do it, and put a chord with it. What we doing? We're doing Lord prepare me to be a sanctuary. Waiting on the timing. Lord prepare me. Lord prepare me to sanctuary. Your hand holy, guide and to diminish with thanksgiving. I'll be crash. trying to time myself to the beat. Who have I missed coming in? Oh yeah, the gospel stride. I call it the bounce. I know the stride is a uh, is an actual New Orleans term, which I never learned, but I did learn what I called, again, in my era and in my space in the New York City area in church. I didn't have a lot of musicians to bounce my my technique off. So I always called what I do the actual gospel bounce. And you see me bounce. Um, what beat can I use to bounce off here? Let's see. I think we got a. We have a. Let's see. I've got a jazz beat in here. I could demonstrate the bounce on. Which one? Only one jazz kit. So I can bounce, and by bouncing, for me, I have to have bass at the bottom, holding a tempo. I need a bass drum. And I'm all in that bounce. Stays the same. This hand has to keep that bounce. And I'm separating my thinking. My left hand is being told, stay there, because that's where I want you to be. Now the right hand has picked up the bounce. In case I get tired, okay, come back. And it's bouncing in the 7. So it sounds good in jazz. Now that's at that tempo. Let's speed the tempo up. I'm trying to get the much too fast. But yeah, I would practice it at a lot of speeds. I'll fly away. Oh yeah. Let's go to my band for that one. Some glad morning when this life is over. Let's pull up my band. Come on now, perform. Category search. And here's my combo band. Let's combo. Some glad morning when this life is over, I should drop it down to F. This is my band. Let me just adjust the volume of some of the guys. A little bit extreme, but yeah. Well, the walking bass line for that kind of a song of that tempo, you need to have a bass to support the chords. Usually, I was an organist, so whenever I played for any kind of service that required that song, my foot pedal was my bass. That's why I can drop around and do this, because I can do that. I can do this kind of movement on with my feet, if though I was using my left hand. So I was free to do form chords with both hands. Two, 5, 1. I practice in every key. Oh yeah. I worked on my left hand like no one ever could, because I didn't have no one to show me how to get a left hand. I used to hear musicians play with their left hand, and I could never get one to show me what they were doing. So I would just practice doing chords on my left hand as accurate as I possibly can. So if I wanted a minor. If I want to diminish, if I want a minor 6, or a version of the minor 6. Now, of course, I already had an excellent bass hand already, because I didn't have a bass player. So, especially playing for piano, I had to have a bass. So I would just hit on the chord there. As you can see, these 3 notes are here. The left hand knows already out of my training, go here. E, D. know that's the chord I'm going to finish. I already know where I'm going to form the chords at. G. I know it's going to have a seventh in there. Diminished, minor, B seventh, no, A seventh, D seventh. There it is. Minor, diminished, minor, straight, minor, diminished, there it is. Music in your spirit is not in your fingers. 1, 2, 1 would be the best way to learn from you. Oh, 1 to 1. Yes, I do offer Skype lessons. In fact, I just I don't think he's on, but I have picked up a new student out of London. It's a 6-hour time difference, so we're going to be learning how to not only learn songs but also acquire voicing. Because I spent a good part of my church career voicing songs from recorded songs for choir. So he's going to be learning two concepts: how to play the song from the album and how to write out or voice out the actual vocal parts. Let me see, what's a vocal song? No, I don't do Total Praise. What's a good song that has vocal parts? No, if I do that Smallwood song, I will get a copyright strike. But I'm gonna toss it. I'm pausing. Vocal parts. B major. What would you think would be the best way to end a song? On a happy tone. I mean, I realize today's gospel music, they love to end it on the 4. If that's what the composer wrote, then you want to stay with the composer. But you always want to end on the 1. How did you come out of Order My Steps? Do want to walk worthy. Please order my steps, Lord. I do want to feel the road is ever changing. You are still the same. Please order my steps. Lord, praise your name. Minor. My steps. Guide my feet. Wash my heart in your word. Show me how to walk in your word. Show me how to talk. Your word is mine. Need a gland to song to sing. Show me how to let your praises ring in your word. Minus 7 on the A flat, on the A. come in a different key. Order my step. Order my steps in your. Yeah, always end on the one. Imagine if you ended Order My Steps on the 4. What would you think would be the best way to end the song? Rules are always the correct way. If you're gonna end a song, then you want to end it on its 1, which is its main key the note. But again, depending upon the song, it depends upon the song. Have I been in every key? Yeah. If I've been in A already. Trying to follow the scale in A. B. Or what is your approach to talk music? Ben, believe it or not, I was pre-talk music in my day. Talk music pretty much made its rounds in the mid 1990s, I think, and I moved around churches in the mid 19s. I was in one church, then I was in a second church, till I wound up in a Methodist church by 1999, where they didn't even do shouting music or preacher chords, because I was kind of preached the preacher chord out, you might say. So I never had to adapt to doing talk music. But generally, what I would do when it was becoming necessary to have music in the background of somebody talking in case they ran out of words. If they were talking about a subject, then I went to a song, usually a hymn, about that subject. Like if they were talking about healing, then I went to Richard Smallwood's Healing, to A flat. I should know Healing. Minor. Seventh. F7 minor. There it is. Had to think about the chord. Stand still and look up. God is going to show up. He is standing there. Minor 6. Walk down to minor, diminish, 6 chord, 7, Yes, I am. That's okay. Small return. Yes, we know there is a. So yeah, I would select songs based upon what they were talking about. I'm an old traditional musician who can play anything he hears, but if it's not necessary, I don't. I'm not the one that had to learn everything popular. I played what was necessary in the space, wherever space I found myself in. So in the Methodist Church, their hymn book had 800 songs. So I was doing a lot of learning what those songs were. When they requested a hymn from page 676, I'd go, okay, what is this? Oh, okay, I don't know that. Let me go and learn it. How you doing, Adam? How did you improve your left hand? Was it mostly with chords or move or more of walking the bass line? You have to, for me, you got to think chords and bass line. For a piano player, from what I've been able to observe, people who were taught piano was taught chord in the right hand and melody in the right. Chord in the left hand, melody in the right. I was never taught by a piano player, so because I could hear the whole spectrum from here to here, I could hear the lowest note and the highest note. I had to replicate it. So I would hold a bass note here and then find a nice chord until that fades and be able to switch both hands. So if the chord was fading and my sustain pedal didn't hold the chord anymore, I could do that chord. If I want to go back and do that bass but keep the chord, then I had to learn how to switch and do both. So it's more for me is what do I hear and how can I keep it sustained? You hear me call out diminish, minor six, and a major chord because that's how I think. Once I knew what the chord names were, from again getting into a book and learning the theory of a chord and the sound of it, I knew if I ever wanted to hear a minor six, the gospel walk up, seventh, minor six, and end on the five, but on the root chord. Once I understood what the actual terminology was, I would hear everybody else using it in different keys. It became easy. It became easy now to know where they were going with their music. And then I began to expand on what I was hearing. If I heard, let me see what I just did. Now I can expand on it because I know where it's going to go. So now I pick an alternate path. Some people call it alternate chords. I will agree with that. I try to find. I know I'm going to wind up here. What's an alternate way I can get there? And there, I'm ultimately going to end up there. So rather than just hold, I'm like, no, I can go because I can hear all those chords I play. I can hear them before, because if I play one wrong, I'll know it immediately. I go, no, I'm missing. I can hear those five chords together and separate. And again, I'm not a soloist, I'm not a singer, but I have relative pitch. So I'll know if I want to go a B up there. the B chord. No, A G, D flat. There it is. It's a learned skill. I find it difficult to move chords in a chromatic way or to maneuver. My wish is to play just like you, but I don't know how to go about it. I do play, but I want to work more on myself. Any advices, please? Um, you never got. I don't think you've ever had a. I put out an actual workbook back in 2011 when I was doing lessons on a website that probably was downloaded over 500,000 times. You probably have not seen that book. That book has a copy of my chords that I learned later in life, so that I could hear every chord that I can practice every chord I want to hear. That it's all about understanding where chords are from a root standpoint, and then what can you build from that. I would practice doing an octave like this, and I would go, how many chords can I find between this C and that C? Well, of course, you got that. You got this. You got this. You got this. Before you get to here, you got this. This is just, you've got this, you've got this, you've got this. And I would hear all these changes in between two octaves. And now I did not include the black keys, but the minute I included those, then it's like, okay, more chords, more chords, more chords, more chords, more chords, more chords, more chords. Now, do they all make sense? No. But I recognized they were there. And then once I got a chord book, and the chord book began to show me in the key of C how many chords that they are. And about, let me see, 4 pages of chords. I'm like, wow, look at all these chords I did not know can be formed within this range. I mean, if you want to consider this a chord, fine. It'll sound like mishmash. But imagine if you begin to deconstruct it, which is what I do. Okay, so let's move these notes down here. Let's move this note down here. Let's move this note here. Let's not do the, since we don't, let's not take the B out, and let's just shorten it. Now, does that sound a little bit better than having them all mashed up here? So then I had to, what I call is I would mix and match. What sounds good? Oh, that sounds good, because again, it's all down this ring. The minute I expanded it, now I open up to more chords. And as I begin to expand, now I've got more chords. There's that tritone, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 above the lowest note. And because I listen to a lot of music, I begin to hear where they were getting their chords from in the space of these notes. And as you begin to expand out more, now you opened up Disney. So as you start, pick a place to start, pick an octave, and see how many chords you can find within that octave. And once you think you've run out of them, if you don't have a chord book as your guide, again, the Nashville system lets you know you have this before you get here. So you know you have those chords, but expand so you know how many far you can go. And practice them with the purpose of being able to do the fingering at any time you want to. And what do they sound like? And octaves, of course. Chromatic, I should say. And inversions. Because your ears need to know where you can find the note that you're actually hearing. Hey, Grizzly, how you doing? Yeah, I use the word deconstruct a lot because when I'm learning a song I've never heard, I need to hear the melody, the highest note, and the lowest note, and all the notes in between. And if there's any movement, what that movement is, so I can feel comfortable replicating, which is basically it means to duplicate what I hear. As I say, it may not be 100%, but I'll be within 95. And what I can't hear, I'll just leave it alone because it's all about why am I listening to it. C. All that is having my ears trained to hear notes in their proper place. Muscle memory, because muscle memory is it's a great thing. It lets me do this so that I can know. I can do C's, G, A, D. Again, the left hand's got to do the same thing. F, G, C, E, A, E flat, A flat, G flat, B. I have to hear them at yeah, I've got to be able to hear it in my head, and then my hands have got to be able to respond. When I listen to songs, I hear so many sounds, but I can't isolate what I need. Vicky, isolate if there's a piano there. Start with the piano. Now he may be just doing, but usually the piano is as close to the actual voices in the song as any other instrument. Well, I found the chord book in a PDF format. Believe it or not, Sam, I just met you, but my spirit agrees with you. Oh, thank you. Not a problem. Again, I find that too many musicians, especially from my day, refuse to talk to other musicians like they are a musician, not as though there's someone that they're afraid is going to steal something they know. The only time I've stole chords from somebody is if they let me record them. If they let me record them, then I just stole their music. I just stole their chord. But then I just store it. You know, if I don't need it, I won't use it. But it's nice to know that I can use it. I can pull it out in their song too. And my wife already told me that dinner is ready, but I have a microwave, so I find this more important. Because I can always cook for my. If you ever saw any of my pictures on my Facebook page, you know that I'm not worried about not eating. Chromatic scales trains the ears, trains the fingers, both hands. Go back, alternate. And you should wind up there in the middle. And you decide which finger has it. I've often said middle C belongs to my thumb, but there are times when I need to cross over and let this thumb. So it's always a fight. Who gonna get middle C? It depends upon where the chord is. So now the thumb has it. Now this hand has it, and my hands never clash because I have a what they call the Mason-Dixon line, middle C. Now I can go above it if I'm up here. But from here, now everything changes so that I can hear that bottom supporting chords. It's when you can grasp the concept that chords are there to help you support a melody. You'll have to find a song with a melody so that you know what chords you want to pick from. Somewhere in my next conversation in the Nashville chords, I think I'm gonna bring that to a close because I'm getting so much information about it. It's gonna become too much, I think, for what I'm trying to help musicians who will play for a church for. I want to be able to enhance the point that chords have really one, or I'll say they have major reasons, but a lot of them are to support whatever the melody line is. And if there's no melody line, then it's just chords. Then it's just chords that's just being played, and there's no real purpose for them other than just to set out there and just be played. Now, some people, I missed it. I missed my change. I was talking. I missed my change. I used to practice too. Usually I don't talk when I'm doing this. There we go. There we go. Keep going up. Keep going up. There we go. Missed it. These are the things I would practice as a youngster so I can hear where the chords are. How do you play it differently for a choir versus a soloist? Depending upon the soloist. If they've got true, how can I put this? I don't want to insult soloists because I'm not a soloist. If they can sing true to the chords of a song, that's who I love playing for, versus one that is singing it in their own spirit, which means they can go in and out of what the melody is. What the soloist song is, His Eyes on a Sparrow. Everyone that sings that don't know where to start their note. So what I would do is I would listen to a soloist talk. If they're going to sing, they always start off, giving honor to God, the head of my life, and to the pastor of this house, and to the members. As I hear them talk, I'm listening to the inflection in their voice to let me know where to start them. Because otherwise they'll be screaming at the very top of the song. For the most part, they'll be either an E flat, F, or G. So if they're talking and I'm listening to them, I'm in the background playing, okay, I'm going to be singing His Eyes on the Sparrow. Then I know it's going to be, why should I feel discouraged? Now, will I do the melody? I'll get them started. But then I know, now I know already that that's too high if it's an alto. So now I got to go down to here. Why should I feel discouraged? So I'll give them their notes, and if they catch on, now I can play the chords. Why should my heart? If I hear them going off, I'll give them their notes. I'll get that note when Jesus is. When I know they're on key, then I can get my chords. Is he his eye? I'll help him out. Melody, but chords at the bottom. All jazz chords, his eye is on. And now they're happy with me because I started them low, so now they can go high. A sparrow, -6. I sing. Now they're really happy because I know they're gonna go real high. Because I'm happy, better I sing. Because I'm free. That's their highest note for an alto. His eye. Dun, 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 diminishing. Dun, 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 dun. The sparrow. I always take them high. And I know what is. And I know he watches over me. Bum, 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 bum. And I give them a nice big ending at the bottom. Of course, they now can catch their breath and do what they need to do to sing a song within the range of an alto singer. Sopranos are a lot different because they believe they can sing every note high. Sometimes you get one that tries to sing high and they're screeching, and you just pray for them. Jazz and gospel are synonymous. Half of those chords, no, in fact, all those chords I was playing are jazz chords, but it brings out the melody of that song. If someone was, well, again, Tommy Dorsey was a R&B, if I'm saying it correctly, he was an R&B musician, so he brought that flavoring of the R&B chords to the church, which was, from what I've understood in my readings and in my research, shunned because it didn't sound like church music. You know, church music was, you see, down at the cross where my Savior died, down where from cleansing from sin I cried. The natural chords. There to my heart was the blood applied. Glory to his name. Those are the natural chords. 1, 4, 1, 1, 6, 5, 1, 4, 1, 5, 1. So, but when gospel came in, which is the era in which I came up, after being immersed in the big band sound, they would start glory to his name, and I just drop it in there. Down at the cross where my Savior died, down where from sin I cried. There to my heart was the Lord blood applied. Glory to his glory to his. And all of a sudden now the people are up, they're on their feet, because there's 3 verses, which means I could build the entire song. Glory to his name. Bum, 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 bum. Turn around. So once you really get a feel for where you are as a church musician, what's your congregation? Are they jazz aficionados at home, but in church they sing the hymns of spirituals? You find out real quick who has a jazz collection at home when you start throwing those chords, those sevens in there and those minor sixes diminish. Dun, dun. You see the eyes light up. You see the feet get happy. As they say, the foot stomping takes off. And the pastor frowns have all of a sudden turned to smiles because the offering plate looks a little bit heavier because the style of the music upgraded from what they were, standard and traditional. I'm going to stop this chat. I want to thank those that have been in here with me, Buddy, Annette, just looking at my brother Vergis. One person I can't pronounce their name, Leta Latak. I'm going to try it. Michael, Vicky, Sub Zero, Lewis Bentley. Who else has been here? Ben, John Appel, Bible Scriptures. I want to make sure I didn't miss any questions. When you play for a choir, how too closely do you stay with the melody? Oh, Vicky, I missed that one. I'm looking at it now. When you play for a choir, how closely do you stay with the melody? I hear some say to accompany, avoid the melody. Others say keep close to the melody. It's confusing. Depends upon the vocal talents of your choir. I had choirs that could not hold their part, soprano, alto, and tenor. So I had to keep within the framework of their parts, whatever I could not hear. And this was a rule that I had. If I can't hear the choir, I'm playing too loud. It wasn't about, well, the choir needs to sing harder. Sometimes their voices were not there. So I had to do whatever the tenor part was, help them with their note, help the altos to find their note. Sopranos are usually pretty much on point, and it most times dependent upon the song, because songs have now changed. That rule might not be necessary anymore because it's more in a praise and worship type of atmosphere. A lot of unison singing, and the praise singers break into parts, not leaving real space for a choir. But if you still have the actual traditional choir, I've often said learn the choir notes of a song so you can help them in rehearsal to retain those notes. Because one of the hardest things to realize is that if you start a song, choir members are not listening with all the music. It's just opening up with the intro. They need to be given their notes. Let's see, what's a song I can think of that choir members. We had so many songs back in my day. What's still being done today? Let me see. Vicky, can you give me one of the songs that your choir does? Let's see if I know it, and I can give you an idea what I'm talking. 'Cause I have songs from my era. As I say, they may not be doing those songs now. If you're still there, a song from this era that you're teaching your choir that someone says, oh, you shouldn't learn the choir parts. I've always learned the choir parts because that was part of my responsibility to help the choir teacher teach the correct parts. I learned the song mainly from hearing the choir parts and then just added. Okay, Kirk Franklin, which number? If you know. I know a majority of his earlier songs. They all pretty much follow the same format. Oh, you're no longer in the choir. Okay, Kirk Franklin, let's say the reason why I sing. E flat. You got to hear the scale so you know where to place the choir. So everyone while you my soul and crying, baby crying, nothing is the choir. silver and gold, silver and gold, silver and gold. Abraham, Jesus, and silver and gold. I'd rather have Jesus and silver and gold, or what's that song? It's in E flat, or no, it's in D's. It's right there. It's at the tip of my tongue. The chords are right there. I taught it to my Methodist church choir. Oh, what is that song? Come on, Sam. You know these songs. Richard Kirk Franklin's song. Because I'm talking, that's why I can't. No, not. Yes, my life, I think. My life is in your hands. My life is in your hands. It's in unison. You don't have to worry, and don't you be afraid. Joy's coming. I can sing a little bit. The morning. Troubles, they don't last always. Oh, there's a friend named Jesus who will wash your tears, wipe your tears away. Or if your heart is broken, just lift your hands and say, oh, I know that I can make it. I know that I can stand. Oh, matter what may come my way. No matter what may come my way. This in your hands. So yes, in that way, when I hear all the different parts, I can separate highest note, middle note, and the tenth part. Matter what. And believe it or not, this is in the natural system. Matter what may come my way. Major, minor, major, minor, major, minor, major, minor, major, minor, major. Right in the natural system. It's when you add the chord to it. Now behold the Lamb, the precious Lamb of God, born into sin, that I may live again. The precious Lamb. That's tenor part. Sopranos have. Now behold the Lamb. Altos have. Now behold the Lamb. Now behold the Lamb. The precious Lamb of God, born into sin. There it is. Major. Yeah, I did all of them. Lord, I love you more than anything. Hey, how you doing, Marcus? Welcome for coming in. Lord, I love you more than anything. Is that the song, More Than Anything? I'd have to hear that song again with the choir parts. I learned the chording, I think, to help someone get comfortable with that song. That sounds like it. What's the progression? Oh, it walks up the scale. The 6, 7, 1, 5, 6, 7, 1, 5, 1, 4. I said wrong, 7, 4. 4 to 6. Now, when the 4, it's playing a root. Seven is also a 5 chord, which is why the number system can throw you off, because the bass is giving you a 7, but you're playing a 5 chord. Now you're in the 1, but you're playing a B. No, is that the dun 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 dun, minor, major, major, minor, 7. Major, minor, major, major, minor, 7. There it is. Again, gospel always goes outside the rules. that's what gospel does. Hey, how you doing? I'll say keys. It's in and out of the rules. Change. And I'm gonna go have my dinner again. Thank all of you for coming in. The latecomers, that's okay though. You could watch the restream. I didn't know I was going to be on this long, but it's always a pleasure to have visitors come in to my stream. I'd like to always acknowledge everybody. Our latecomers, Keys, you're coming, Marcus, uh, Vicky, Adam. My hands were made to worship you. I think that was the one where my hands were made to worship you. Well, thanks for coming in, Adam. I'm not certain how that song goes. I'd have to listen to it. Of course, Grizzly, I think you took off. Ben, can you give a few exercises for low level players to practice? I often start with a 5-note and an 8-note scales. Any others you recommend? Sorry, Adam, that I missed that. I try to keep an eye on my iPad when questions coming. Can you give us a few exercises for lower level players to practice? Often I start with 5-note and 8-note scales. That you got me there. First thing I would always recommend, all of them in succession, in chromatic ways. In time. Try to be as accurate with your fingers as possible. A. There we go. B. All of the notes, not just one way, but backwards. F, E, E flat, D, D flat, and C. Whew. Just to train your hands and to be able to hear every note that you just played. Because when you form a chord, that's found in that same scale you practice in every key. Get your ears trained to, your hands trained to moving, and your ears trained to hearing it. Not just one way, but backwards, and speed it up. Now I'm just rolling it, but you should be able to play all together. More than one octaves. And inversions. E, E flat. Just to get your hands trained and your muscle memory built into your hands so that when you want to do a chord, it's right there. D major. E flat. G flat, B. A flat, E, D, A, B, C, A, G, F. I'm not even looking. E, E flat, E, D, D flat, C sharp, C. I'm not even looking because I'm so trained at doing this. Because I'm in C, I'm not looking. But if I want to do a chord, I already know that's where my C is, and I peaked. That's what I want to look at. So I'll look at the camera and not look at the down, 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 5, E flat, bring down. Yeah, look for my bass. Because my thumb is my catalyst. My thumb knows to fall in place, and all the other notes drop in place. And it's just a way of just giving yourself some other concepts to practice. So scales, chords, progressions. There it is. And then mess that up. There it is. There we go. Just to force your hands to form chords and your ears to hear whether or not you played it correctly. Because if you played it wrong, you should automatically hear it wrong. because you would have been trained from down here to know that's a C7. So D flat seventh, E flat seven, D seventh, E flat seventh, D seven, F seventh, G flat seventh, G seventh, A flat seventh, A seven. There we go. There it is. So as I play that note, I know that's the note there. B flat seventh, B seventh, and back to your C seventh. Chords, just practice them. And again, I didn't have you doing the inversions, but anything that you can practice without playing a song will give you something that you can use as you're learning songs. When next can we catch with you, Sam? You can teach us chord voicing. I still got to continue with my Nashville series. I have probably 2 more sessions to do with that. I want to cover the minor chords and then building again 2 more levels of what I want to call alternate chords. What I'm doing is giving you what I use. If you're playing a song, if you think C is the only note that you can play, no, C7 you can play. C6 you can play. What is this? A G6. Right, G major 6 you can play in place of a C. Or it becomes a C major 9 when you drop in the lowest note. It doesn't always have to be this, but it can be this. So I wanted to be able to write out my version of I'll call it Sam's gospel chord number system, where you can substitute, instead of a C, put that chord there. A C9 is this one, but throw that in there for color. Still in the 1. That's what I want to be able to give you, a different concept of, doesn't always have to be. And if it is that, add the 9th note on it. Not the 9th, but yeah, the 9th note. 9th, 7th maybe, there it is. So yeah, I'm going to introduce some jazz sounds which are appropriate. They will fit. If you don't do this, you can do the inversion of it. And you can do that, which you hear all the time. Dun, 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 dun. That's all that is. That's the chord. Just switch the 2 notes. And you hear this run all the time. That's my turnaround. That's my version, always expanding out of it. So that's what's coming. I can go upstairs and eat my dinner. So this will make Vicky happy. Vicky, I am going upstairs to have my dinner. Thank you all for coming. You make these lives so much better for me. Adam, okay, thank you. That's awesome. All right. Make sure I don't miss anything else from anybody. Just reading back. Okay, I think I caught everyone. Yes, I did. Exercises. Found the closing PDF book. All right. Everyone have a good evening, and probably I'll be putting something up for Thursday. Give me a chance to hone in all the stuff that I have pulled together regarding other tones that are found in the Nashville number system, and they will, as they say, tie a bow on it and give you some exercises or ways you can use these chords to approach every song that you currently know and that you're going to learn in the future. Take care. As I say, this is my new page until I decide I don't like it and change it up. See you in the future. Have a blessed evening, everyone. Take care. Bye.